Jij fotograaf?
Ja. Ik stap maar die stad rond en kijk voor goed is wat interessant lijkt.
Dat is eindelijk wat ik...
Huh?
Je kan.
Is it right?
Dat is alright, maar dat is eindelijk wat ik doe.
Voor foto's zit.
Ja.
Moet niet worry, is net voor mij eigen interessantheid. Oké. Baie dankie. Perfect. Wat is jouw naam?
Gert van Wijk.
Gert van Wijk. Van Wijkstorp.
Ja.
Aangenomen kennis. I had to cut old Gert off there, unfortunately, because he started talking about his boss. But I had a 10-minute conversation with him further, talking about all sorts of interesting, disjointed things, because he was quite drunk, I think. But it ended with him trying to sell me his car, which was actually slightly enticing at this point. Hi there, Will here, and today I'm in a tiny town in the middle of nowhere called Van Wijkstorp. It's about 4 hours away from Cape Town, which makes it a new record for casual trips I've taken outside of Cape Town on this channel. And I'm here to hang out and make some photographs. Why I wanted to go study photography was because I was really into fashion stuff. I'd been looking at like ID and Days and all of those magazines for years, and because you look at those photos and you're like, this person knows what they're doing. Obviously, they must have learned how to do what they're doing in a formal manner. And my degree was maybe 5% learning how to make photographs and 95% writing about photographs, critiquing photographs, understanding photography and like editing projects. And maybe a year ago now, I got to go do a portfolio review with Peter Hugo, who did like a really famous photo series, which he despises now, of hyenas, the hyena men in Nigeria. And talking to him and showing him my portfolio was really intense, because I mean, he was just super straight up front about everything. He was like looking at some pictures and he'd be like, this does nothing for me. And then he'd look at one and he'd be like, okay, that's cool. Work off of this. And talking to people that can talk to you about your work in that way kind of sets you on the right path, I guess, as crushing as it can be at times. At this moment in the guitar playing, a giant baboon came up behind me, and Maya was standing in the doorway and she was like, Will, there's a baboon. And Stu got up and saw it, and he picked up his guitar and like chased the baboon away, strumming his guitar super loud, which was absolutely hilarious. I wish I had it on video. But dealing with people that don't understand what it is you're trying to get up to, especially when they're people that are definitely in an authority position in that context, makes it really easy to just someone on the internet saying, oh, this isn't a good photo. Because I'm like, bro, I don't care about your opinion about my photos. I make my photos for me, and I learned to make my photos for me dealing with someone who had a lot more authority than you in telling me that photos are garbage for 3 years. So if I'm happy with the photo, then I'm happy with the photo. And I'm not always happy with the photo, but it comes and goes. Is he gonna bark? Is he not gonna bark? Is he gonna bark? Is he not gonna bark? That's the answer. Is it alright? Geniet je het? Geniet je het?
Ja.
Niet mijn meester noemen, ik niet mijn meester.
Ook. Maar het is voor mij te disrespectvol om iemand op zijn naam te noemen.
Ja, maar er zijn ook boerenouwens wat besluit dat jij met hem meester noemt. Ik zie jou meester niet. Mijn naam is William, wat is jouw naam? I mean, I think in like 2017, probably, George was in his heyday, Negative Feedback, and I was in London, and I had a mate, his name was Ebian, and we filmed a tester. We filmed a tester for like my first YouTube video, just because I was like, you know, this is cool, he's doing it, why don't I do it? And we filmed it on this DVC camera that I'm doing this on right now, so the DVC vibe was already there, but it just, it didn't feel like it needed to be out there. There was nothing about it that hadn't been done before or that it wasn't contributing anything. And at that point, I hadn't seen my family in like a year because of the coronavirus thing. I only ever really saw them once a year before that, and I'd call them every now and again, but it didn't feel like I had any connection with them really, or that I got to spend time showing my parents what I was getting up to in life. And I figured, you know what? They might be interested if I put a video together showing my experience in rural South Africa, because that was the first video I ever filmed, was the rural South Africa stuff. And I put that together and then sat on it for like 3 months. And then it'd been even longer since I saw my parents, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to put this stuff out here. I'm going to do it in a way that it'll appeal to, you know, people who are into this sort of thing, because I do have some knowledge to offer on cameras and film types, but like the main goal with the first one was like, hey mom and dad, this is what I got up to this week in Cape Town, you know? And then that was quite well received for what it was, which was like my first small testy YouTube video. And it just went from there, I guess. The videos where I'm like off on an adventure and don't really have to worry about anything besides making the photographs, I just make photographs I'd make anyway. And I can do that because of the way that I go about the video things. Like I have a somewhat low budget, lo-fi way of going about the video side of things. And that's largely to do with the fact that I don't really own a lot of video making equipment, but also because doing things quite simply in a lo-fi way allows me more time to think about the photo things, and I don't like get distracted worrying about whether like my 4K camera has enough space or battery or whatever. It's just like, here's this shitty little camera, chuck it on tripod, push the button, make sure I'm recording audio, and then go.
You wanna do some tricks?
No, I'm out of photos, so
Some tricks?
I don't know about tricks. What's the risk of the camera getting...
Do some gentle ones.
Okay, I like gentle. Gentle's good.
Gentle's good.
That's not very gentle. Few actual project style things I've done on my channel. I think it's pretty much the only one where it's like quite apparent that it's about the location, and I've said why it is that I'm interested in it, and then the photos that are to come could be put into a book, because that's the way that I think about bookmaking. And that those series of videos and the photos that came out of them specifically aren't even really what I'd put in the book. It's just like I've been to that spot a bunch of times in my life, and those videos were sort of me testing the waters for whether there was something to make there. And now all that really remains is to go out there for like a month and, like, less than making photos, just nurture the relationships that I've built up with people there and like really interact with them. Because I feel like that's something that is quite easy to forget about when it comes to photo projects. Is a lot of the super successful photo projects that people make, where they get these like incredible access images and like really candid pictures of people, come about because in the serious documentary photography sense, the way people do it is they go there and they stay there and they like live with these people. They don't like rock up with 2 cameras, plunk a video camera down over there, like record some audio, make a couple pictures and then dip, you know? It's like they're there for like the first 2 weeks. They don't even touch their camera. They're just out there talking to people. I've just been interacting with people and talking to them, and that's why that has the potential to be a book someday. If I go out there for like a month and nurture relationships, you know? It's just 8 hours away, which is a bit of a bummer. Holy seal. Baby seal, baby seal. Hello, Mr. Seal. Mr. Seal is having a swim. It's a baby seal. Okay, I'm gonna wander over there very delicately and carefully, because I'm very aware of the dangers and sensitivity of aquatic life, but also interested in having a baby seal picture. And hopefully this works out, and I don't scare him like he just scared me. You can't be trying to come across in a way that is super original and unique, and for that to be the reason things get successful, because then it won't come across as sincere. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that people on the internet have a really astute, sincere radar. And there's some people who are willing to like let the sincere thing fall by the wayside in favor of, I don't know, entertainment value or other things. But if you're trying to fake being interesting, it's just not going to work. oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, what should I do? Everyone always says, be yourself. And everyone that hears that is like, what the fuck do you mean, be yourself, man? Like, that's what everyone says. I don't understand it. How am I meant to be myself? And then, for me, like, me being myself is my failure in making high quality video and being able to read a script without sounding like a robot, you know. So I don't have an alternative to doing things the way that I do, and I figure similar things can be said for the way that other people choose to go about stuff. I hope you enjoyed that, and that you got some insights into the strangeness of rural South African towns. It's not something people often talk about here, the way that society sort of devolves as you drive further out into the wilderness. But I hope you enjoyed these photographs, and I'll see you soon.